Eli, hey.
There we go. Eli.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Keeping busy here.
Whew. Tell you what. Hey, Billy, Nell, how y'all tonight?
Yes, you
Yep. Get comfortable.
That's hard to get comfortable.
Yeah, man, you both be getting whooped like man.
I guess so. So I'll go ahead and tell you, anytime you have foot pain, don't ignore it. Don't wait for bruising to show up. Go ahead and call your doctor. Because when you wait for bruising, it's probably too late.
Yeah.
So,
Well, hi, Billy and Nell, how's y'all's week been?
it's the mouse. That cheap mouse I got at Big Lots. Better.
Yep.
So what we're doing today,
We'll talk about anything anybody wants to talk about.
I'm resting.
The rest, waiting on the rest. We'll
We're,
talk some.
we're tired.
Yeah, we both are tired. It's just been it's been hot this week.
It has.
And all kind of stuff going on.
I don't know what to do. Not working.
Hey, Bobby, how you doing? And Bobby, you're not late.
We're
just
early.
we just started. We just started. Good to see everybody tonight, though. It is hot, but like I said in my video yesterday, you go look at the records. And by the way, I need to correct something when I'm thinking about it. The highest temperature ever recorded in Alabama was 112 in 1925 in Bibb
Hey,
County,
Barry.
Alabama. So, hey Barry, how you doing? Good to see you, man.
And you said Georgia's highest temperature wasn't until,
In the 80s.
yeah, surprisingly.
So, but I did look at the list for all the states, and um, boy, late 20s, early 30s, it was rough living in the United
Well,
States.
wasn't that the Dust Bowl era?
Yeah, Dust Bowl area. There was some hot weather, but there was some cold weather too. Alabama's coldest temperature recorded was minus 27 in Newmarket, Alabama, which is up on right around Huntsville. That was 1966. And I remember, I don't remember much about the 60s because that's where I was born. I remember more about the 70s, of course, the 80s. Um, they were cold too. There was some cold times in
Yep.
there. So, but I do remember some hot weather in the 80s. Remember a lot of, I mean, I remember some drought in the 80s too. So, uh,
Georgia stayed in drought.
yeah, there for a long time. Yeah, work us. It was fighting with Alabama and Florida over water.
Yep.
I
I
think they
remember
were,
we were watering based off of the alphabet. Odd went this day and even went that day and such.
I wonder if they're still in it.
No, I haven't heard. I have not
That's one
heard.
thing you know is somewhere in the United States it's going to be in a drought. It's always been that way. So what I'm getting
Somewhere's
at,
gonna be flooding.
what I'm getting at is don't
Don't
buy
listen to the
into
narrative.
yeah, don't buy into that agenda. Just another way to tax you and get more money out of you, control you. All that is. And make a bunch of other folks rich. Anyway, whew. Well, our gardens have about quit making, except for the okra is fixing to make and the limers are fixing to make. 'Cause they both were blooming the other day. Watermelons are coming in. In fact, I need to go out there today and pull some watermelons. But I'll pull some tomorrow. We got our fire pit tomorrow night, so I have
Janelle said the crappie and blue, the catfish and bluegill are biting. She wants to know how our boo-boos are doing.
How our water do.
Our boo-boos are doing.
Well, my finger's healing up pretty good. I'll probably have to go back and get stitches out Sunday or Monday. Now, Rebecca's got to stay off her foot most of the time for another good, week and a half.
Yep.
So I guess time will tell from there.
And then I go back to work for 1 week before the doctor. Yeah, I know, right? I'm off my foot for 2 weeks, but don't see the doctor for 3 weeks. So,
Hey, Michael Haywood, how you doing? Good to see you. It's just that time of year, which I done a boo-boo. I was using a skill saw, done something I wasn't supposed to. I knew better to do. Try to grab a piece of wood when it was fall, and the saw kicked. Come over and got in my finger. So, hey PJ, how you doing? Good to see you on.
thankfully, it was my old little bitty skill saw that's battery operated.
Yeah, I know better doing that. But, it's heading up good. I just had to be real careful not get it wet. And been a little aggravating at work, having to wear a glove, and then when I need to take the glove off, the bandage wanting to try to ease off with it. But it is what it is. I'm just glad that we ain't got a lot of crops coming in right now and stuff like that where I really need both hands. So, but we'll probably pull some watermelons tomorrow, and I'll have to figure out how to do that.
Sounds like we call Ellen Christian.
I'll just put a glove on and take it.
Oh, we got somebody coming for rabbits. Hey, Flat Rock.
Hey, Flat Rock, good to see you, man. Good to see you.
The,
If y'all didn't see, Flat Rock was on Red Creek Mafia last Sunday. If you hadn't watched that, go over and watch it. And learn a little bit about South Alabama, where Flat Rock's from. And some of the stuff he has going on down there in his neck of the woods. So I guess Flat Rock's about 2 hours from us. Maybe 2.5.
it's not sister.
Yeah, you got a cat. Here comes
And
sister
here
now.
comes sister.
Go ahead and run the cat off with the dog. Keep staying.
The cat will keep the dog along. Well,
No, she'll be able to
from
do all
me.
that. Here we go.
And Allie's good company. Yeah, Spencer.
Hey, Spencer, good to
We
see
miss
you.
Spencer somehow.
So he come in right after Michael Haywood. Yes. Hey, Spencer, good to see you on. Missed you last week. Your ears should have been ringing. Everybody was wearing you out.
David Hughes wants to know how the phones are doing.
How the what's doing?
The phones. Janelle wants to know how the phones are doing.
Hey, David, good to see you, man. Good to see everybody tonight. It's what I was telling Rebecca the other day. We got a good chat. We got a good group going, and got some people that seems to be very not judgmental and supportive, and that's a good thing to have because that don't exist much in this world anymore. I had a guy message me this morning and told me that he really appreciated that. Hey, Rhonda, good to see you. That he really appreciated me at the end of the video saying love everybody and love everyone, trying to get along. He said, you just don't hear that no more from people. And, but that's what we should be doing. Trying to love everyone, even people we don't like, try to do the best we can with them. Show compassion and restraint. Because I'm like anybody else. There's times I'm ready to blow up on folks. But we just try to learn to restrain ourselves. Do that. Follow that commandment. To love one another. Oh. So then, anything in particular, if somebody wants us to kick off on.
Bud, how are you today?
Hey,
Glad you
Bud.
dropped in to see us.
Hey, how's it going, man?
First
Good to
time
see.
here, they said.
Good. Glad to have you, man. Glad to have you.
We slow starting at the moment. So just
Yeah,
wait till-
I've been catnapping today. I didn't sleep well this morning, and I took a little afternoon nap. I do have to go in for a few hours tonight, so which will be later on tonight. So we ain't got to be no rush with the live tonight like we sometimes are.
somebody said, hey, Kitty, this is Callie. She is
What?
13 years old now and very much set in her ways. And I messed up touching her, so now I got to hide my hands until she settles back down again. Her and sister do not get along. Um, one is a B and the other threatens to be a B. I'll let y'all figure out which one's which. Sister and Gypsy. Sister is a B to Gypsy, and Callie is the B to sister. So, yeah.
You know, it's like humans, ain't it?
Yep, that's it.
It's like humans.
That is it.
Oh man, I'm glad to see everybody tonight.
Yep.
We had a very good live last week. I know most of y'all were here. Misty and Sherry were on. And we had a very good live. Enjoyed it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Talked a little bit about the paranormal and some stuff that Sherry, Misty, and Rebecca has experienced.
Did you see where, was it Leanne that posted it? Where she posted the story of Soap Sally, and it actually originated there around Tallapoosa, which is right next door to Cedar Town.
No, I guess I've seen that. Well, I take that back. I did because Leanne said her people were originally from Cleveland County, Alabama.
Oh, really? Interesting. I missed that.
I think she said it was something I seen. Now, it may be in a different post than
Yeah.
Leanne, but I think she said her people originate from around Calhoun. I mean, not Calhoun, but Cleveland County, Alabama.
Misty's story was pretty interesting,
Yes, it was.
and it yeah, it was a little scary.
All right, sister. We ain't gonna be able to do all this. You're gonna sit up here. You're gonna have to be still. All right.
She's upset about Callie
If I can't-
because Callie's here. Sister's got to be
Yeah,
up here in the
yeah.
way. Sister's a very, very jealous dog.
Yep,
Very.
she is. She's got it.
Very jealous. That's why she's a B with Gypsy. Because Gypsy just wants attention. She doesn't care. She just wants some attention. And sister will get between us and the dog. Every time. I mean, the dog, the cat, people, it don't matter. Sister gets up between me and him. So, yeah.
But that was a very good live though last Friday.
It was.
Our next guest is gonna be Spencer.
But that'll be the end of this month.
Yeah, we'll probably do toward the end. We possibly may have a interview before then with the eyewitness.
And that'll be on your Wednesday video, right?
Well, I'm gonna talk to him and see which one he'd rather do.
Oh, okay. So we might do it live.
We might do it live, and if he's going to do it live, we'll let everybody know. But that is entirely up to him.
Yep.
I told him we
Or will
do it.
you just do your Wednesday live?
This is going to be long-winded, so he probably needs to be on a Friday night if I do it well.
Yeah,
He
that
has
way you don't
time.
have to be interrupted.
Or we'll have to start it early in the evening.
Yep.
Because everything he told me is going to take a little while.
Yep.
So he goes into detail, which is what I want. Detail. And Janelle will be very interested in this one. Well, everybody will, but Janelle will be because it's close to her.
Close to her area.
Let's see. Uh-oh. What's that other phone going off over?
Yeah, probably something on my phone.
Well, look.
Salmon is too high. A couple of 5-pound channel cat fillets get good on the grill.
Sounds good. Sounds real good.
Spencer's. Janelle's waiting on the answer from Spencer's. and the rest of us are too.
What's what I asked you from Spencer about?
Salmon being way too high. She's got a couple 5-pound channel cat fillets we could do on the grill.
I heard salmon had really got up there. The guy that works on the carnivore diet, he eats a lot of fish. He eats fish 2 to 3 times a week. Besides beef, he don't eat no pork. Don't hardly eat no chicken. Because the chicken ain't got enough fat in it. But he tries to eat stuff that's got a good bit of fat. And, he said that salmon and some of the other fish, flounder, and some of the other ones have really got high. So, and
Catfish and didn't even skin it before they cooked it.
didn't skin it.
Probably held that moisture in pretty good. Yeah, I'm treating that like chicken. That's interesting. So the garden's got a good watering today. Plants got a good watering today. Pretty much kind of rained off and on.
Yeah.
Since last night.
Yeah.
Or was it yesterday?
No, it came in early this morning.
Because I heard it hitting the air conditioner a bit.
We were started hearing the thunder. I think around 2:30, 3 a.m. when I was at work. It was the first clap of thunder shook the whole building. So, and it comes some big rain, especially up that way. They had flooding going on when I left. But the closer I got this way, you could tell we hadn't got as much rain. But somewhere today, they got a bunch of flooding in Tennessee, I think. Because I seen one of my friends that lives in Selma posted a bunch of pictures. That's Little John.
Yeah.
That they must have got a good bit of flooding.
Her name is Little John in Selma now.
So, he lives outside of Selma. But that's right above Corinth for Cornish. Some people pronounce it 2 different ways. Mississippi. Kind of there in Coonbo's neck of the woods. Y'all missed, I don't know if any of y'all, I imagine most of y'all were on last night with Woods Walkers, with him and Coonbo and Vic talking about the Dog Man a little bit. And that was a very good show. Right there at the end, I didn't get to watch the end. I had to go back and finish it as I was walking in the plant. I just lost all internet. I mean, I lost cellular data and everything. I don't know what was going on. So I had to wait till later in the night to finish watching it, which was about, 15, 20 minutes worth. But I don't know what took place with that. That's weird. It just died. I listened as I walked in the door. It just whoop.
Thank you, Spencer. I was fixing to make Mark answer that.
What's that?
BF Bud asked if, he said he'd seen our Blue Man video and asked if the Blue Man was supposedly a Bigfoot.
That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know that for 100% sure. But by his description and where he hangs out at, he hangs out in an area that we've heard a lot of vocals from. More likely, I'm thinking he is probably a booger, maybe an old one that's lost a lot of his hair. I'm thinking, just in my head, which is my opinion, that maybe when light hits him, he's really gray and may turn to a bluish color. That's what I'm thinking. The people that's always seen him, he don't leave in a hurry. He doesn't take off running. He doesn't act like he's shook up or nothing. He just turns around and walks off. When he walked up to the coon hunter that night, and I don't know if I think he was within 30 foot of the coon hunter. And I don't know if I told that in the video or not, but sister got the sheep on this. So, excuse me. I think he was about 30 foot from him. He just said when he threw the light on him, he looked like he had a blue tint. Then it was a few years later when the deer hunter on the opposite side of the road, probably give or take 300-400 yards away, at a different spot in the same area, but different side of the road, different spot. He come walking up on the deer hunter up in the tree stand from behind. Uh, I think he got a pretty good look at him the way he described him to me. Said he just turned, walked away, went back the way he came. And then when Jonathan Odom seen him go across the road that day, because what Jonathan would do, he'd go up there and park somewhere and he'd walk a bunch. He'd walk down those roads and he'd go down them a good piece. So he was staying pretty quiet, and he caught him walking across the road during the middle of summer. I think it was, I can't remember what month it was, June or July. And it was on up in the morning. I think it was on up like 10, 11 o'clock. Caught him going across the road. I don't even know if, I can't remember if Jonathan said if he turned and looked at him or not. He just seen him go across. And, of course, Jonathan didn't have his camera running at the time. He said he wished he would have, because he would have got him. So, but, because that place in that little area, besides the beaver pond, the lake, clubhouse area, is the other area that has a lot of activity. It's where the first time I really heard what you call the owls being mimicked, because one of them, when he went to doing his owl call, he went to coughing with it. I'm not kidding you. We kind of got tickled about it. I mean, you could tell he got all messed up. And then, we left from down in there because we were trying to coon hunt and got up on top of the hill at the four-way. That's when Keith pulled out the drum bull, pulled it, and that's when we got the T-Rex roar. I think I've talked about that in one of my past videos about the T-Rex roar, that it vibrated when it hit us. Just think of a T-Rex, screaming. Basically about the similar same thing. We didn't know how to act when that happened. We didn't pull the drum bull no more. We didn't know to leave, but we ended up staying a few more minutes, and nothing ever happened after that. It got as quiet as it could be. Nothing took place. Stayed quiet. So. Then the time I took the coon hunter, the competition coon hunters down there, and we got a very good vocal from the vehicles when we were up in the woods, and then of course when we got back to the trucks, a very strong odor there around the truck. So, but yeah, Blue Man is interesting. So I know that the first time he was seen was around 2010, the second time 2012, and then Jonathan Odom seen him around 2015, 16, somewhere in there, 17, somewhere in that neighborhood. So and he was there for a little while. I never seen him. Keith, I know, never seen him. Adam, never seen him. I don't know if anybody else up there has seen him. If they have, out of the hunt club, they have not talked about it. But that coon hunter actually called his grandfather because he thought somebody was trying to sneak up on him and hurt him. And then being naked too, thought it was crazy, man. And then I think later on he realized that wasn't the true man. And when I got to sit down and really talk to him about it, he told me, he said, that really wasn't a real man. He said, what that was. And I said, well, I think it could have been a booger, Deer hunter quit the club that year. I think he didn't even come back on the club and hunt anymore. That was his last hunt. I did I asked him what he thought it was. He told me, I just have no idea. He said, I don't know. He said, I don't know what that was. And it was around 7 foot tall. Um, Lanky built. And, like this talking about, wrinkly looking, real wrinkly looking in the face, the body, just patches of hair. And it was a male. So, you know. Yeah, Spencer, it may be about the same thing. You might need to send that to me and let me listen to it. It could be the similar deal, Could be the similar thing. There's a few other people have, talked about here what they call a T-Rex. I mean, I can't remember where I heard it before. Somebody had it. I don't know if it's from up in Ohio or where it was at. So yeah, there's some people have heard that stuff. Oh man, all right.
Everybody wants to hear that.
I'm telling you though, when you first hear it, you're gonna think about you ready to get in the vehicle and leave. I'll be honest with you, we all that night after we came out of that bottom with all the crazy owl sounds, we got up on the hill. We run into two other guys from the hunting club. And actually, one of them had some Bigfoot experience. He was sitting there talking to us. We were telling him about the owl mimicking going on down there. And that's when Keith said, well, while we're right here, let me try out this drum bull he had made. And he wet that string. And, when he pulled it, it let off, it lets out a lot awful sound too. And I mean, he ain't even got through pulling the string. There was an answer came back from that same area we had been in. And I'm talking about it rattled the whole woods around there everywhere. I mean, I could feel it when it hit me in the chest. I mean, that's how strong it was. And of course, all of us, our mouths dropped. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know to go ahead and get the vehicle to leave. We didn't know if he was heading on his way to whoop everybody, but nothing ever showed up. And we ended up standing, like I said, a little bit when we left. We've done the drum bull up there a few more times. One time we did get a howl back, but it wasn't a real strong one. Then we've used it a few other places and did get responses from it. But it's one of those, I don't think you're going to get a response from it every time you use it. I know at night, Spencer, y'all and them was here, I pulled that thing, 4 or 5 times, and finally, we heard that call back south of us, but it was a good piece off. So it's not something that's going to get an answer every time. But it'd be pretty cool to use that in LBL to see if that would really, stir something up in there if you wanted to stir something up. I don't know. I don't know. It might be a place to check out, with it or something. All I know, you probably need to be standing right by the truck, ready to go. Hey, Greg, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Anyway, I know last night they got on a discussion. Did you tell the difference between a dog man and a Bigfoot? And that was a very good thing to talk about because, we really don't know, I guess. I'm assuming, it would be nice to know the difference in them. Because that way you know what you're dealing with if you started hearing those vocals going off, what are you dealing with? Are you dealing with a Bigfoot or are you dealing with something else? It would be very nice to know. That's talking about, I think it hit at some different hertz than Bigfoot. So, something to think about in the future if they'll go places and they're hearing vocals and they record them. Might be something to think about. Not just- Lord have mercy, his dog. He's a big baby.
What?
All right, Deuce comes over here to me now. She knew I was talking about her.
So give me the mouse back.
All right.
Or shuts us down. There we go. Hey, Ken Squatch.
Hey, Ken. Good to see you, man. Glad to see everybody tonight. Looks like we got a good turnout. Y'all shoot me some questions or about homesteading or Bigfooting or Bible or something. Or if you got questions for Rebecca, let's see. Possibly saw faces on your. Well, PJ mentioned that she thought she heard a knock when she was listening to it from her television. I did go back to that time she told me, and I did hear something, but I couldn't really make out which I was listening to it off my phone again. I guess I need to watch it on TV just to see if it would be a difference. I mean, it's a good possibility. That place has always been active right through there. We didn't even make it over to the lake. We were pushing time. I need to go to the lake too, do some listening. Usually the bugs are so bad at the lake, though. You can't hardly sit over in the summertime. Them bugs get a rhythm over there too, buddy. But I do need to ride over there and check on everything, and I might try to do that here in the next week or so. Go to the lake area and check everything out. I wish I could do it live from there. I just wish we could do it live from the lake. I think that would be a very good place to do it live, and we might even have something happen over there. Well, it's getting about time for Pat to text to say he's fixing to head this way. All right, sister. But anyway.
It is about time for it.
Oh yeah, that's true, Spencer. I agree 100%. You should be, ready to go when something happens. And there's a few times me and Keith loaded up and left. There ain't no doubt about it. Me and him got that feeling like it was time for us to go. That like we really wasn't welcome that night. So, and then other times everything was. So one was pretty big. Go back to what Snell said a minute. One was pretty big, eyes, top of head on it. It was a dark one. Okay.
Yes, Greg.
Do you remember, Janelle, about what time it was on the video? In fact, if you do, don't go to no trouble looking for it. I'll go back and read it. Was it, was it on the left side or right side of the road? There was one time I thought I heard something too, but I never did say nothing. Well, one time I did stop a minute. I don't know if y'all noticed that, because I did hear a little something in the woods, which, could have been a squirrel, deer, or two, or something. You never know. But I noticed the dog stayed with me that day. She was not very. At first, she got a little piece from me, and then I noticed all of a sudden she was up back by me, and she stayed around me the whole time. So something was possibly. And Rebecca did tell me when we were pulling in that she felt the atmosphere change. What I mean by that was you felt a difference when we pulled down in there, and because that's probably one of the lowest areas on the hunting club, that creek bottom, and going down that road, I don't know, maybe about 3 more miles. There are some houses, and boogers have been seen down there around those houses. In fact, one of my friends, David Beasley, lives down there, and He has, y'all probably heard his stuff. I done the blacksmith with him, blacksmithing video, and also his wife done a live with us a couple months ago, wasn't it? When we met up on Hunt Club that time.
Yeah.
And, so, and y'all heard some of the stuff that she had happened. What is it?
Spencer and Greg.
Well, they don't have Misty to stir them up, so if she pops in here, we'll get something going. Probably.
No, we about to get something going now. Ready?
Oh, well. Uh-oh.
Which one are you, BF?
Well, I will tell you, I tend to lean more War Eagle than I do Roll Tide. Here in my part of Alabama, which we live in the east central part, we're only 60 miles from Auburn. Auburn's due southeast from us. Good many Auburn fans in this area, but also probably about the same Alabama fans. I know you get on down a little further into Tallapoosa County, and some of there's a lot of Auburn fans. You see a lot of stuff down that way, but good bit of Auburn here. Birmingham is about half and half. I think it's about half Auburn, half Alabama. I tend to pull for Auburn just a little more because I had 10 people go to that school, plus it's an agricultural school. And I've always liked Auburn, and I always liked the underdog for some reason. I always pull a little bit from the underdog. But I don't really keep up with football anymore, hardly, to be honest with you. I don't pay much attention to it. I just don't get the thrill out of it I used to way back in the day. So now you get over on the west side of Alabama, going down toward Mobile. It's pretty much Roll Tide over there. So now you have a lot of Georgia people that's for Auburn.
And Alabama, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of strange. In fact, Auburn pulls a lot of Georgia players, or used to. I don't know how they do now, but Alabama pulled a lot of Mississippi players. It's kind of strange that one pulled from one area pretty hard, and the other one pulled from the other area pretty hard. And so I know we used to, a lot of the Auburn players were from little towns right across the Georgia line, like LaGrange and Columbus and places, and like that, Macon and stuff. All right, sister, once you get down for a while, we'll lay down for her. So she's going to come right around and make another circle.
Yes, she is.
Don't let her up.
You're right.
But anyway.
So he's BF Bud is OSU. What's their...
So you're talking about Oklahoma State, or you're talking about Ohio State?
What's their competition?
Which one who it is? I mean, I don't know which OSU he's talking about.
Because whoever the competition is, that's who I'm for.
Well, yeah, you have to watch Rebecca. She's
Ohio.
Oh, okay.
So who's their competition?
Are you in Ohio, BF? That's where my kids are, right outside of Columbus. And I work with a bunch of guys from Ohio that are big Ohio State.
The house made it up.
Hey, Wanda, good to see you. Glad to see you on.
So Spencer and Greg are having their own little thing over Rossi, or 357, or 44 or something. Who knows?
Rugers.
I mean, I'm over them. And a lot of football talk now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Colt, Slade, Monk, War Eagle. As soon as you got the car and it can use Slade, those are fighting words.
Oh no, he got tickled. He enjoyed it. Every time I got a chance, I'd say War Eagle, and he'd say Roll Tide. So he took it. I think he took it real good. So he get tickled.
Janelle said,
Oh, okay.
we'll go back and look.
It's a good possibility. Good, very good possibility. Very good possibility. I think Mr. Keith Bell put a picture on this week. He caught back down there at Hatchet Creek again, across the creek. If any of y'all are friends with him on Facebook, I know Flat Rock is. I don't know who else on here might be, but if you are, go check out that photograph. I mean, he's not saying that's what it is. He's not like me. He puts the picture up. I tell him, I said, put your picture up and see what people think, and just be, as I say, don't be judgmental, be nice about it. And, so. And who moved from Ohio? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, my kids are in Ohio. I go up there fairly regular.
He's not going to take your money, sorry.
Ohio's a pretty state, especially down there in the Hocking Hills area. I've done a little video on Hocking Hills when I was down there, and been to Salt Fork. That's a pretty neat place, beautiful place. Me and Jonathan went and walked some of the trails, walked around them lakes. Never did really feel nothing when we were at Salt Fork. There was one place that got kind of eerie feeling. I remember that day. It was kind of down in the bottom next to the lake.
Call her about the picture.
Yeah, Mr. Bell, yeah. Yeah, go if you're friends with him on Facebook, go look it up. You'll see it. It's a black-looking object across the creek. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. He's got pictures with it where it ain't nothing there. So, like I tell everybody, if you don't think so, just be nice about it. Go on. That's what we should be with everybody with pictures. If you don't think, if you don't see something, don't knock the person for it. Just I see some people get knocked out and drag outs over a fight over a picture, So, anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm not a football fan at all. I'm an instigator. So whoever your team is, I'm for the other team.
Usually she says LSU here in Alabama really stir up Alabama.
Or go Dogs. Go Dogs stirs them up pretty good lately.
Well, yeah, last couple of years. But LSU used to be the one.
LSU used to be the one, but I got thrown out of Walmart with that one.
Yeah, now Home Depot.
Excuse me, Home Depot, yes.
Yeah, you get some pretty rough looks.
But now it's Go Dogs after that 1 second thing.
Alabama folks can, well, I don't know, they get pretty ticked off about War Eagle too. So I've seen some pretty heated discussion over Roll Tide, War Eagle. I've seen, and I'm not kidding you, this actually happened, and I probably shouldn't tell it, but I have kin folks in Tuscaloosa too. They were all big Alabama fans. They used to have a big farm over on the Black Warrior River. When I was young, we went and visited them a lot. And we were over there, and Alabama was playing, I think, LSU, in LSU. I think Alabama lost, if I remember correctly, by just a few points, maybe a field goal or something. But two of my cousins got in a darn fist fight about it. And I mean, over football. One of them got real mad. I don't know. Greg Jonathan hadn't tried to step on no more snakes. He's over in England right now. He went to visit his sister in England. She married an Englishman. He moved to England. And he flew out Sunday. And he's over there in a little town about 30 miles, or I think they say kilometers over there, but about 30 miles north of London. He's supposed to be sending me pictures, and he ain't sending me no pictures, so I'm going to send him a text and get on to him. But, so, yeah, BF, I agree. When I was growing up, my dad, we were avid quail hunters. We kept bird dogs and all that. We enjoyed that day to go hunting with Auburn, Alabama, or playing because there wasn't nobody else in the woods no more. And a lot of other days, the woods just empty out, especially when they have afternoon games. Those 2:00, 2:30 games, woods just empty out. And boy, you'd have anywhere you wanted to hunt. So yeah, I agree. We didn't ever sacrifice hunting for football. We didn't sacrifice anything for football. And I used to go to games every now and then, but I would go in early fall for hunting season to get started. My brother-in-law did graduate from Auburn, and he used to still get alumni tickets, and sometimes I would go watch a football game. This is back when I was young, carried buddies with me, or I was, dating or something, carried somebody with me. And back then, you've been to what, 2 Auburn games?
Mm-hmm.
When
because of Ella, yeah.
Because of Ella being in the band, she got selected.
She was in the honor band.
So we went
and got to march on the field.
Yeah, and we went and watched them play LSU. They beat LSU at like 13-10, I think. LSU they played that night. The second time, I can't remember who they was playing.
No clue.
But the second one, we didn't even stay all the time. We left about halfway through.
Yeah, it was almost like a homecoming game.
Well, it was that, and it was something. Was it rainy? Was it trying to rain or real cold or something?
It might have been cold.
Yeah, I can't remember. We left.
Yeah, it might have been cold.
Yeah, I don't pay it much attention anymore.
So I'm scrolling through Facebook, and your cousin posted this. Is there another train derailment?
I hadn't heard anything. Has anybody heard about another train derailment?
I know I saw for our area another plane was down.
That was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hadn't heard about no other train derailment, but I haven't really looked at the news.
Fresh.
Huh?
Fresh.
Fresh. Yes, that's Fresh, who lives over in England here. Yeah, he didn't come on last week. I ain't seen him in a couple of weeks. Yeah, Bobby, there's a lot of Bigfoot in Ohio. I think they have some of the highest sighting rates in the country, especially for the eastern side of the country. And I wonder, you brought that up, makes me think, and I've heard Eric Tifton comment on this before too. I was watching a documentary last night at work on the Nephilim, and of course L.A. Missoula, who is a biblical scholar, he was talking about the mounds in the U.S. and how a lot of them were coordinated with stuff overseas, which is wild. Some of them are on the same parallel lines, and some of them, the mounds and stuff. Some of them were sacrificial mounds. They really wasn't a burial. They were a place that it was actually doing human sacrifices. But I know America has a Stonehenge up in New Hampshire, and if you look at it, it's directly west of the one in England, the Stonehenge. And I think we got one in New Mexico, and there's one in Mexico, one in South America. There's some on some islands in different places. So, but I didn't realize Ohio had the mounds that they have, which I've heard Eric mentioned that. Well, I looked it up after I listened to that podcast. Hey, Sherry, good to see you on. Hope Mr. Jim's doing better. Uh,
Yeah, 67. Say that.
so that state's full of mounds. So I wonder if that has something to do with all the Bigfoot sightings too. I know here in Alabama, where the mounds are, there's Bigfoot sightings there. So, yeah, yeah. My daughter goes over in the Wayne National Forest a lot, hiking and camping. Uh, and then they go somewhere in West Virginia. Okay, good, Sherry. I'm glad he's doing better. I'm glad he's doing better. We've been praying for him. So. Y'all pray for some of the other subscribers that's having health issues. While I'm thinking about that, they might not want me to say their name, so I won't. But there's some other people that's having some health issues, and some people having other issues. So when y'all say your prayers tonight, remember everybody, doing everybody.
All ready?
What's that?
New puppy run off.
Gotta go. All right, Spencer, be careful, bro.
That means sneezes don't come on there. That's code.
That way she can bash him when he's not here. But she don't care. She'll bash him.
Oh, yeah.
Then Greg likes to agitate it on.
Or the rock. It could be the rock.
Yeah, it's
He might be missing the rock and need an excuse.
Ooh, man.
Bloody Spencer.
Oh. Guess we're gonna have to start getting Spencer a rock where he goes.
Yeah. Run, Spencer, run. You're them puppies. They are full of energy.
I get tickled with Spencer with the baby deer he's got up there. I don't see how he's gonna be able to deer hunt the rest of his
No,
life.
he's not.
Sit up there and raise 2 deer up. I told him, I said, what you gonna do when they get big? You gonna put a collar on them or something, big orange collar where somebody won't shoot them? I think he said, yeah, I'm thinking about putting something on them. So, bad thing, you're gonna have to watch that buck when he gets grown though. You're gonna have to watch him. Especially when he starts feeding his oats. I had a buddy of mine that raised some deer one time. He had a buck. That buck tried him finally. About killed him. About killed him. He hemmed him up. Wore him out with them hoofs. Sometimes deer can be mean, but they get in rut.
Even when they look young.
And they get in rut. I mean, they about like gold or anything else to try. You know, that's all they are is wood gold anyway. What did Miss Rhonda say? Yeah, Miss Rhonda, they are mounds in Wegusta. I know where a couple of them located on private property. Uh, uh, I think there's one on the hunting club. I ain't 100% on that. There's some up around Talladega, they say. I think they're on private land. Nobody's never dug into them. Of course, you got some in Elmore County, down there, you know, on the river. There's some over in Tuscaloosa and below Tuscaloosa on the Black Warrior River. And then up there in Coombo's neck of the woods and Greg's neck of the woods, there's some up in there. Then from where Rebecca's from at Georgia, over on the other side of Cedartown, the Rock Mart toward the city of Cartersville, you got some mounds over there. So, and all the Native Americans say they didn't build them mounds; they just came in and occupied them. If you go back to their oral history, they talk about they didn't build those mounds, and like I said, if you look at those mounds, they're perfectly built. Indians didn't have mathematics that we have. I know they probably could do some stuff, but it took somebody, and I mean to get them level. I mean, take a level up there and put a level on it, and that thing is level. I mean, there's some more to that there. So, and a lot of them will tell you quickly, we did not have nothing to do with the mound building. We just we found them empty and we took them over. I know a lot of archaeologists will argue with you that, but them archaeologists, a lot of them don't believe in the biblical way of things. Yeah, yeah, I knew there's a couple pretty close to you, Greg. I know there's some over there in Franklin County, over around Russellville. Some that me and Coombo and a bunch of us went to. That was out in the middle of the hayfield. A guy cut hay around them. There's about 4 or 5 of them. They're not huge. They're smaller mounds. Uh, and I've seen what I thought was some mounds maybe out in Talladega National Forest before. Uh, I think. I mean, they look peculiar. They look man-made looking or made by something. They don't look natural to me, which they could be. I mean, I'm not going to say they don't, but they could be.
I'm with Sherry. You want to go check those out?
Yeah, I'd love to go see them if it's where we can see them. Yeah, it is hard to eat the pet. I will say that.
It's hard to eat the pet, yes.
It's hard to eat the pet.
So far, we've done pretty good with the rabbits. The rabbits are not pets. We've kept most of them as livestock. So, same for the chickens.
And there's some mounds, Greg, right there in Oakland too. I think that's where the bigger ones are. I think. And that may be where Speak Alabama is. I ain't never heard of Speak Alabama. Must be a 4-way stop like Fayetteville and some of the other communities where we got around it. They call it a certain thing. It ain't nothing but a 4-way stop or one little store there or something. Yeah, when I go back to visit my son and kid, my daughter in Ohio again, I noticed there was some close to Columbus, I think that you can go see mounds that are not on private property, but they're on, I think, either, I guess, the state, uh, you know. Yeah, because they, I know what you're saying, Barry. I'm trying to know what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a lot of history that's gone.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, Oakville, that's it. Oakville. We know that the Smithsonian, I can't even pronounce it correctly today, sure did get a hold of a lot of stuff that come out of those.
Smithsonian.
Yeah, then they disappeared. So.
Yeah. Yes, we still have Major Tom. Major Tom is no longer Major Tom. He is back to Mr. Tom since the Guineas whooped. We had to separate him. He's in the rabbit barn living the life with the roosters that keep getting whooped by the rest of the chickens too. All those young roosters we hatched out at the start of the year, they got integrated into the Cariza flock, and so they're the low men in the pecking order, and they joined Mr. Tom over in the rabbit barn. They come and go as they please, but Mr. Tom cannot jump the fence and all. So yeah, but we do still have Major Tom.
What is Bama BF Bud saying?
Which one? Have you ever heard of farmers sacrificing one of their herds to boogers? I've heard of it.
Huh?
Yeah, I've heard it.
Well,
Is it smart?
I did hear Scott Carpenter talking about a farmer or rancher out west that was having a lot of trouble with Bigfoot. And I think Scott Carpenter told him, that they were probably descendants of Nephilim, to go out and try to talk to him, because I think he done a outing. He had an outfitter service. I think they were destroying his cabins up the mountains, and they were coming to his house. getting animals and all that. And he finally told them to get them to stop doing everything they were doing because I think he shot at one. That's what really got him stirred up. But Scott Carpenter told him to go out and talk to him and tell him, who he was and he bought that land legally and try to work out a deal with him. We think Jacob done that in the Bible too when he bought Rachel's burial plot. He bought it from people that would have had Nephilim blood in it. But so the guy did. He went and talked to went to where he knew they stayed at a lot, and he told them that they were to get deer they wanted, and every now and then they could have a calf or something if they would leave the other ones alone. And I think it started working out. So they quit tearing his cabins up, quit coming to his house. You can go back and find out where Scott Carpenter talked about that. It's been about a year ago, and I hope I've told that correctly. I'm just kind of telling that off the top of my head. Because there were times that people probably made truce with them, but you can, if they do have Nephilim or demon blood in them, we can rebuke them in Jesus' name. We can do that. If you still have problems, we'll pray over your property. And then if you keep having problems, then you need to look into the property's history and see if somebody has gave them legal access to it. Maybe down the road, a pre-owner or something. So that's something to look into. And I'll go into that one day on a video real good or something. Let's see, what else we got?
Okay, so Greg House wants to know if you ever went to Mount Bull when you could go up to the top and look down.
Yeah.
I have not seen that. And then Rhonda Adams.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. And then there was a little bit of discussion for rabbit. As far as rabbit goes, rabbit is good actually. I've never had wild rabbit though, but tame rabbit is a whole different ball game. And it does. It tastes like chicken, like dark meat chicken. So if you like dark meat, you'll like the texture and all of a rabbit.
Right.
I personally like the breast, but I do like rabbit.
I'll tell you a good way to do that rabbit is with something we found out one day, and that was in a crock pot with salsa poured over it. You talking about good, man. That was good.
Yep, it was. In and outdoor guy. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Anthony? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you.
Janelle does it with dumplings.
That sounds good too.
Yep.
That's good too. I ate a lot of rabbit growing up. A lot of times when we'd bird hunting, we'd jump the rabbit on the bird off that says kill the rabbit. And then, of course, I had an uncle who kept beagles. I used to go rabbit hunting with him a lot. It was a good time.
Now, when we talk about white sauce, are we talking about that Alabama barbecue white sauce
Oh, yeah.
again? Yeah, that's a no.
She don't agree it's with Spencer on that.
It's because it tastes like mayonnaise. That's just ew.
Sure, Biff. I will do that.
Now, he comes to Ohio typically without me.
Well, sometimes you come, sometimes you don't. But, yeah. Yeah, I'd love to meet up. Last time I went and sit with Eric for a little while. We ate lunch, talked a while, and had a good time.
I know. Sorry.
In fact, we went to the Amish restaurant right there in right there in Plain City. What's the other little town? Dublin. There we go. Well, what's
It's
the name
in
of
and
that?
out guy. Isn't that Anthony?
Yeah, that's Anthony. I was sitting there. What's the name of that place there in Plain City? It's the Amish restaurant. Maybe Bobby or BF will know where I'm talking about. But, it's kind of like all you can eat. Pretty good place to eat. Oh, He's gonna be.
Definitely a Cracker Barrel somewhere.
Oh yeah, there's So you're coming to
Amistad,
Alabama in September?
Birmingham.
Yeah, they're all along the interstates. There's
We can even tell you where the barbecue's at.
if you want some good Southern
It
barbecue,
ain't gotta be Cracker Barrel.
I'll tell you a good place to eat right there where Greg, and Jonathan went that evening. I think he carried Misty and all them over there too. Boy, that was Chinchilla area.
Oh, that's what he said.
Oh, in Ohio. That's,
I highlighted the wrong one.
I'm trying to think where that's at. What part of Ohio that's in? How far is that from Columbus or Dublin or Plain City area? Because Dublin and Plain City are on the northwest side of Columbus. Because I used to have to go to Marysville a lot because I worked for a company that's located in Marysville too, that has a plant here. That's why my kids are up there. 'Cause my ex-wife works for them too. Got to move.
Transfer.
Well,
She didn't get moved to the transfer.
well, that ain't something to bring up.
No, but let's just tell it right though. She transferred.
Bobby says her family is in. Oh, they are on the Ohio River. They right down there, across the river from Kentucky.
Dublin's East Columbus.
Yes. Uh-huh.
That's the comment. Dublin's East Columbus.
Oh, it's west of Columbus.
I ain't got a clue.
It's on the
I have
northwest
to look
side.
at a map to see. They're an hour south of Columbus.
Oh, okay. Okay, I know where you're
They're
talking
even
about.
closer.
So they're right there at the Hocking Hills. Okay, I know where you're at now. It hit me then. Where you at? Oh, yeah. Okay. Usually when I go to Ohio, I'll go into Cincinnati and get on 70. Yeah, 70 and come up. So I did. Me and Rebecca one time did cross the river somewhere in Kentucky, then into Ohio, and come up the 2-lane road.
I remember that.
So
I don't remember where that was. I don't remember where that was, but I remember we were on that little 2-lane road forever.
I'll think of the name
There
of that
was
place.
nothing there.
I'll think of the name of that place here in a minute. It's a little Amish restaurant there in Plain City. But anyway,
I mean, it was
next time I get up there too, I'd love to go over to the Snake Mound and check it out, or the Serpent Mound, which I think that's back down toward Cincinnati. I'd like to go check it out. Yeah, a lot of the guys I work with is from Ohio. A lot of them are from the Marysville, Springfield, um, Delaware areas is where a lot of them are from. Because a lot of them locally, some of them are from East Liberty area. A lot of them transferred down here because they got tired of cold weather. Some of them said. Of course, I think the company was. Yeah, that BF Bud. You have to excuse me because there's a BF Bama too, so I'm used to
Is
it.
it BF Bama or Bama BF?
She's BF Bama, I think. Or it might be opposite. I can't remember. You know, my mind don't work correctly no more.
Mine don't either. It never is. So.
Yeah, I like Ohio. It's a very beautiful state. A lot of corn, buddy. I'm talking.
Hey, get out! Stop!
Well, y'all see, we about had a knockout drag out in here.
Sister attacked the cat, not the other way.
Oh, his sister jumping up.
No, sister jumped up here to attack the cat.
Sister, come over here and lay down. Go here and lay down. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Lord, knockout, drag out. You know, they're about like humans, ain't they?
Yep. Yep.
Getting fuss over anything.
Yeah.
What?
And yes. Sister same thing. I tell you what, sister, the older she gets, the more jealous she gets. And I really don't know how to stop that.
When going back to BF Bud, when you come to Alabama or down this way, let us know. If it's where we can, we'll meet up with you. Uh, yeah, we got some Character Barrels pretty close to us. There's some in Birmingham. There's some in Huntsville, Anniston, Tuscaloosa. I don't know what part out if you're coming to Alabama or what area you're coming to, but you just gave me the general area. I can tell you. Yeah.
Now y'all see why my foot is hurt. That's why.
Yeah, you wish.
I stuck my foot where I shouldn't have.
Yeah, I know Greg and Misty was saying how he tried to use that switch on you. You
Yeah.
got a hold of him.
Yeah. All I know is I had claws going right beside the guy. So that was just and her claws hadn't been trimmed. She's not a very friendly cat when it comes to trimming claws. Um, when it comes to doing anything she doesn't want, she's not a very friendly cat. But as you saw, she's a very friendly cat, which she wants to be. So, yeah.
And y'all do watch for that live or that show I'm gonna have because BJ and Janelle, y'all gonna want to hear this one when it comes out. I'm not gonna go any further with it, but it is from Arkansas. It's gonna be very interesting.
Yep.
And
Just keep us posted on the date. Keep in mind, I'll have to make sure to put in for being off. So as soon as you have that date, I can get it.
okay. Yeah, just let us. Y'all coming down to Flat Rock, so y'all will probably pass very close to us if you're. You're probably going to stay on 65, which would be your fastest way to do it. Yeah, you'll come right through Birmingham. Is Clanton over?
Probably.
I know there's one at Prattville, Cracker Barrel.
Can't imagine planning like that.
I can't remember. I have to look that up. I tell you what, the Clanton does have a beach park. Woo!
Oh yes.
Man. If any of y'all are ever come to Alabama and you're on I-65,
That's better than
between Birmingham and Montgomery, the town of Clanton, Alabama, that's our peach capital. In fact, they got a gigantic peach water tower out there by the interstate. You'll know you're there because you'll see the gigantic peach. That's where the majority of the peaches come from in Alabama. There's a restaurant called Peach Park, and one of their specialties is peach tea, peach ice cream, peach cobbler. I mean, you name it. Anything with peach.
peach salsa.
You talking about a good ice cream. It's made there. They make the ice cream. They make all the stuff. I'm going to tell you, that place stays busy. When you pull up, the parking lot's always full. You get ready to stand in line, but it's worth it. They got barbecue there, and they got other stuff. They got
Made it in the house.
Hey, Pat, good to see you. You need to drag old Joe in, too, where he can stir up some stuff. Spencer done left, so him and Greg and Joe could have teamed up on Spencer, and we don't have Misty fussing at him tonight. So.
Who is Misty?
Well, she may be busy. She must be busy.
She must be busy. She
And there's Miss
comes in.
Bama BF.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I think
They do.
Yeah,
And a peach fry pie too.
Yeah, I think they do.
And a sweet potato.
I think they do.
You just don't know. I'm starving right now.
Oh, he would call.
Who's this? Is that Tony? Oh, Brandy.
This is. Hey, bud, let me call you back. All right.
I'm gonna have to start tagging Brandy in the
Yeah, he always
Live.
forgets that. Yes, that's it. That's it, Bobby, the Dutchman.
That's
That's
it.
it. They're Dutchman. That's it. Good place, too. Very good. Yeah, all the waitresses, girls dress up like Amish girls. That's the waitresses. And Blue Eyed Northern lived in Ohio. So that's what we were sitting here talking about. Pat is Bobby and BF Bud are both from Ohio. So.
And there's Joe.
Hey, Joe, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Ain't heard from you in a while. I was starting to wonder about you. I didn't know if Miss Pat done whooped you and buried you somewhere or
We
something.
good at that. We good at that.
Yeah, let us know, and we might need to get old Greg meet up with us somewhere too. BF Bud, he's not far off 65 too. So let us know. I can't. Greg, does Coleman have one? Do they have a Cracker Barrel? I can't remember. All right.
How's your hand? He wants to know.
Who is that?
Joe.
Oh, doing a lot better, Joe. It's healing up. I'll probably go Sunday or Monday. Well, probably Monday and get the stitches took out, but it's not bothering me. It hurt one night at work a little while, but I used it a good bit. So it hurt a little bit, but it looks good. It's healing up good. Like I said, that's the only time it really hurt.
It just looks ugly.
Yeah, it looks kind of rough looking. It's
really
really rough looking because of the way the stitches are. Because he had to pull everything up. So
it's the ugly to start with.
Yeah, because it was jagged. But I'm doing good. I'll probably be back 100% by next week. Good Lord willing. I'll probably just have to take it a little easy for a little
They
while.
can wrap the difference.
Okay, thank you, Barry. I thought there was one in Coleman. I thought there was a Cracker Barrel in Coleman. Yep, Miss Rhonda said it was.
Pyromedic is in the house.
Hey, Pyro. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Right into where?
Right in the ambulance tonight. He's an ambulance.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Hope you don't see us.
Well, I hope you have a good night and don't see nothing rough. I don't think that's a job I could do.
Some of them is not so bad because some of the calls we had for the apartment complex were bogus calls, basically. But
This day and time, I don't know if I'd want to be a policeman or an ambulance driver or a fireman, because even the firemen see a lot now. So, I don't know. We do have our fire pit night tomorrow night at 6. I know a lot of y'all are way off. I wish a lot of y'all were closer. But for you local people or the ones, kind of, but anybody's welcome to come. I don't care. I'm just saying, I know you hate to drive 8 or 10 hours just for a fire pit for a few hours, but what I'm getting, which we got places you can stay. That ain't no problem. But tomorrow night's our fire pit at 6 p.m. We just sit around and fellowship, and it ain't nothing fancy. I hope I'm gonna probably pull some watermelons tomorrow. So tomorrow night, anybody that comes, hopefully we'll have some watermelon. Like I said, I think some of them are getting ripe. In fact, they're getting sunburned on them. And what happens is sun. A lot of people think they're rotten, and they're not. Actually, the sun sometimes will blister them, and it kind of makes them look like it's starting to rot, and it ain't. It's just a sun blister. Because right now the sun is putting out more radiation than usual. We are in a solar maximum, which there's a lot more radiation coming to the earth. And I don't know if y'all have been noticing that there's been a lot more activity with sunspots and flares here lately. So I think it's supposed to top out 2025. I think you can go to several websites and it talks about it. So, but um, I know our crops didn't do as well this year. I think the sun was really wearing them out from the heat and from the dryness.
And what we did pick didn't even last long.
No,
Did you notice that?
Yeah, most of our stuff wasn't very good.
I mean, when we picked the right tomato, it like rotted fast.
It wasn't very good. So I don't know. I don't know. I know a lot of people are talking about we need to start growing in containers, get them up off the ground some. The bad thing about that, then you got to really keep water to them
Why do we need them in the container versus the ground?
because of the gamma rays coming up out of the ground.
And it's not going to get into the tank. I mean the container.
When they're up, they just say that dissipate a little better.
So not just a pot, but up off, like big raised bed, like up off the ground raised
Yes.
bed with legs.
What's the people talking about? Also, they're talking about start trying to plant your crops where they get more afternoon shade if you can.
Well, that's always been.
Right. And also, if you try to use shade cloths, if you can. Oh, so whose daughter is a police officer?
Misty.
Hey, Misty, good to see you.
Um,
Good to see you.
PJs.
Okay. That's good. Gotta be careful, PJ. Be careful.
She was busy, like you said.
Well, I figured you would. Good to see you, Misty. Spencer left a little while ago, so I was hoping you were going to get to chime in before he left. You and Greg could get going with him, and plus Joe's in the group, and he loves to give.
Janelle said their raised beds are okay, but not producing good either.
Well, one thing me and Rebecca's got to set up is us some rain catchment totes. I got to really get that going, especially for next summer. I need to take some of those totes and start catching rainwater. One reason just to quit watering the city water, which I don't think does plants too good.
No.
But that and start trying to water more. I do have ponds, but I hate to drop. I don't want to really drop my level in my ponds by watering too much from the ponds unless I have to. Because our ponds are dropping, which I think it came back up a little bit last night. So we got a little rain. So
And I said we need to pull when it's a rainy season and fill up the containers and then use them when it's dry.
That's what I'm talking about. Filling up
In winter.
spring, fill them up, and start using the water. A lot of times there is a ton of water comes off that big barn out there. I can imagine you could fill a tote up in a few minutes. Oh, let's see.
Or the comments are just not so fast. I think we Taro said he's been way too easy on the squirrels lately. They made off with all his tomatoes. Hey, at least you got some tomatoes because ours pretty much dried up a lot of it too.
Yeah, I noticed the squirrels yesterday were at Mama's at the fig tree.
No, we don't have we have 4 wells, but they have not been used since they were installed, in the 70s?
I don't know when they're exactly drilled. One of them does have a pump in it, but I think the pump's no good. I do need to get a pump in it. There's one with the other house. I know it's a submergible pump too. I probably do need to check on maybe maybe seeing get that done because we can use that water.
Yeah.
Uh,
That one in between the chicken yards
Yeah,
would be a good one, and one by the
I
shop.
would love to set one up on solar, and that might be something I start working toward. Uh, Especially the one out yonder towards the north end of the property.
That's a good one.
Almost said a neighbor's name. I had to catch
No,
myself.
no, no.
Yeah, she might not appreciate that, but
She might not. She's kind of private.
yeah, so it's a good piece from any electrical service, and I think that would be a very good one to set up on solar. It would probably be primarily for livestock and probably for watering crops, because if I keep growing crops, it'd be a good place to pump water from. That is something I really need to start pushing here, is to get some of these wells going and start utilizing that water. I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm going to check and make sure the water's still good too. I have to. I still have to check them periodically for any bacteria getting in. So
Right.
I think that's all we really got to worry about here is bacteria. I don't think we got to worry about any chemicals because it's not real close to any industrial plants. DMAX pretty close by, but they're not discharging. They got a system. So sitting here trying to think, no, ain't nothing else close by. For our water, if the marble quarries hadn't messed it up,
And they
through blast.
be careful, PJ.
Good to see you, PJ. You take care of yourself. I'm glad you came on tonight.
She's still gonna be listening, but
And I did, like I said, I did hear something. I just don't know what it was. You are correct. There was a noise around that time frame. I just don't know what that was. Greg told me, he said, thought Rebecca done jumped on me. And he lightning hit our pump last month. Had the well people come over. We broke our line 60 foot down, so we got to drill another well. Woo! That ain't good. It ain't cheap to drill wells either. But now we're Flat Rock, you ought to have pretty good water in that area you're at, because I noticed there's a lot of water in your area, so maybe you'll hit a water table pretty easy. Maybe it won't have to be real deep. Our wells, I think, are very deep. Just shining light, looking down some of them, it looked like it was 80, 90 foot to the water. So yeah, I'm going to have to put in submersible pumps to get that water out of there. And they are drilled, cased wells. So, and I need to check on the well at Mama's. And one at Mama's was hand dug, then they come back and put cement in it around the sides. But it's actually a spring that comes in and goes out, so it's like a sump. And that used to be some of the best water. Me and Daddy'd work out in the fields all day, and we'd come up there and hang the water hose on the hose line, and me and him take a bath out there a lot of times. Yes, we would still have underwear on, but you talking about take your breath. That well water there, buddy, it'd take your breath, turn you blue. But you talking about when you got done, you talking about feeling clean. I mean, you felt clean and you was refreshed. Because I grew up in a household, my dad didn't run air conditioning much. It had to get rough for air conditioning. We had all the windows up, had fans going. He was out of that generation. We didn't run that air much. Now, when him and Mama got on up the years and started having a lot of health issues, he finally broke down and put in a unit. Because he done some stuff to the house, he put siding on, put storm windows on, so that tightened the house up. So he about never really had to put air in then, because he didn't have it got pretty hot in there. Plus they had a tin roof. or he had mama him put a tin roof back on. But and some trees got cut down over the years, um, so some went to hitting the house a lot more. But, I've remembered many Sunday mornings getting up ready to go to church or stuff like that, and be sweating while you're getting ready for church. I tell you, people, and I know a lot of y'all have probably lived the same way. You probably came up in that environment. It's totally different now. Most people wouldn't know how to make it without air. I mean, it's tough, though. I agree. Me working in the climate control worked for me. If I come home and try to work outside where I've been in a plant that's climate control, I tell you, it's rough on me.
Yeah.
I used to be acclimated to it very well, but I'm not anymore.
People don't understand that.
Which is, business is good for Greg, though. He's there.
Oh, yeah.
Greg probably, well, I don't know. He probably don't like his hot weather either, but they probably kid him. But this is when you make your bread and butter.
I'm with Janelle. The person that broke it would be the person who paid the bill.
What got broken?
His well.
Oh, what's that? Well, yeah.
The well people came out.
Yeah. Well, guys should probably be hit with that. Yeah. Yeah, I always loved our well at my mama's house. In fact, the neighbors south of us all were on the same well system. Everybody had a well through there. And you could tell, you could stand, you could look up back that way to the neighbor's house. You see their well was in line with ours, and the next neighbor was in line with ours. And then it actually came out across the road on top of the ground in a pasture. And I mean, that water, it had tons of water all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Used to, you could take the cap off the well, look down there, and you see the crawfish. I mean, there'd be crawfish in there, about big as my hand. And every now and then, Daddy would have to go down in the well to dig the mud out because of the crawfish. They cause so much mud, and it would stop up the foot valve on it. And of course, he would check, make sure there wasn't no gas or nothing down there. And then he'd go down. Our well was about 30 foot deep. Our neighbor at the time was a painter, painted houses and churches and all that. And he had some pretty good long ladders, and Daddy would borrow one from him, long enough to get down in there. But this well was about 48 inches. That's how big the pipe was. So he had plenty of room. Well, if he could get down there with a bucket, me and whoever else was there would pull the bucket up full of mud and dump it. And we'd do that till he got the sump cleaned out very good. And we'd been good for a couple of years. Yeah, we used to be on well water, and I remember when city water finally got put where I lived at, which was probably been in the late 70s, when they finally came through the water line. So we were on a well, till the late 70s. But our well was always good water. Tasted good. It was very good. Yeah. A lot of people used to sleep on the porch in the summer. A lot of people used to go take baths in the creeks.
Yep.
Hello, our new land. Yeah, I'm a farm man. Yep. Oh yeah, you got a good one, 756. That's a good tractor. Good tractor.
Yeah, we are red power people here.
Well, but we got a Massey too.
It's still red. Ain't no green here though.
Yeah, there is a few pieces of green.
Uh-oh, what's green here?
Some of the mule drawn equipment.
Oh, well, that's different. That's different.
Yeah, I got a 1904 John Deere planter that belonged to my granddad.
The mule drawn is different ballgame.
Or horse drawn, whatever you call it.
Yeah, whichever.
Yeah, I love internationals. I have a Super 8 and a 140. And back when we were farming, when
And
I
what's
was
the other one? the big tractor?
It's a 484, International 484. It's a diesel. And we were farming pretty good bit, we had an 806 and a 1256 diesel. I love them tractors. And I've been wanting to get me a big and back. In fact, somebody in Tennessee had a nice 706 for sale, and they didn't want a whole lot for it, but I think it was a gas burner. That's the only thing about them big tractors. I hate getting a gas burner in a big tractor. I like the diesel in the big ones.
I hope you did, Greg. I hope you did.
What's that?
Greg said, I wonder Spencer found his phone.
Yeah, I hope we did.
Hope you did.
Hope we did. I'll send you a text here in a minute. Is that little Jack Russell Terrier?
Whatever it is.
I think it's partly Jack Russell Terrier. Let's see. What time does it get to be?
It is 8:35.
Wow, we've been on here an hour and a half. Wow.
Talking about nothing.
Well, what are we talking
Oh, I'm
about?
playing.
Nothing.
I'm playing.
We got real deep in the anything.
That's live. We shouldn't be real deep. I was supposed to play.
We probably do
Hope
turn out.
Booger didn't find it and Spencer. He
True.
might have found his rock instead. He likes it a lot better than us.
Joe says coal burning stove,
Coal-burning
not
stove.
natural gas. That ain't comfortable. Yeah.
Yep. I had that growing up, and we had oil at one time, too.
I'm actually wanting to put a wood heater or either stove. We got a fireplace here. I would love really to do that. I do have propane here for heat. I thought about putting a small potbelly stove here at the fireplace. Two, where we could cook on it if we lost electricity. And I just love burning wood too. I love the smell of wood.
Yep.
I would like to do that and then still have the propane for backup though. Maybe have a small propane heater in the kitchen, maybe one toward the back of the house, something like that. You know, a little 2 brick, something not real big, but just enough to keep the biggest thing. My problem in our area, most of the plumbers don't have gas license no more. Most of them don't want to do it. They don't want to fool with running gas lines. I guess I could call.
I talked to an AmeriGas employee, the one that comes and fills our tank at work. He said you do not have to be licensed at all to run your own lines.
Well, how does that deal with insurance?
He said it doesn't. He said all you got to do is run that line, get that little sleeve thing that goes over and pierces into the line itself, because everything's copper, right? It's supposed to be. Okay.
Well, you can run iron pipes too.
Well, he said run copper. Anyway, he said once you get it all hooked up, they just come out and pressure test
Who pressure checks?
your propane company. And as long as it holds pressure, you're good.
I had to ask Greg about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can run the lines.
Because I was asking him, I said, how do I find out who is actually licensed to run propane lines? He was like, what do you mean? You can run them yourself. I was like, thought it had to be licensed or bonded or something like that for your homeowner's insurance. He said, no, it does not have to be. You just run your lines. I said, well, how does that come with connecting into the lines that already exist? He said, they make that little sleeve thing, and when you get finished with everything and they come fill your tank up or whatever, they pressurize your lines and make sure it's all good.
We'll have to check
I was
in.
like, all right, because we've been waiting for 3 years to get somebody to come out, and he is propane certified. He said,
Okay, that's right. I think he told me that. Well, I might get rid of some chicken.
there you go.
Yeah, I would like to. This house, when we bought it, was built in the 70s, and it has them old
73.
It has them old dinosaur wall electric heaters, them old coil heaters. You know, they eat the energy up, and they're dangerous too. I'm really wanting to get rid of.
I want all of them gone except the one in the kitchen.
Oh, you want to keep that in the kitchen?
I kind of like the one in the kitchen. Not to use, but I like how it's got that little thermostat on it.
I like. Well, if we're gonna do that, all we need to do is put a heater back toward the back
And garage.
in the garage. Which I still think we're gonna put a.
And run a hot water line just in case.
In case of change over. Well, may not get to do that what the government's saying.
Very true.
It may be outlawed propane hot water heaters for short.
True.
Argue with you, Greg. I'll talk to you later about that. I remember him saying he used to drive a propane truck. I forgot about that. See,
I'm licensed to farm. That's it.
yeah, you're allowed to put it in there.
I can fill up the bottles.
Yeah, y'all all had to go take a test for it.
And be licensed by the state and by AmeriGas. So I am licensed for life for being able to fill up propane tanks as long as the company that I fill up for
Well,
is paid for them.
I know here in the future, we're probably going to start having issues with losing power. Not just, I know storms could come through and knock our power out. And I remember that ice storm of 1981 or 82. I can't remember which one, what year that was.
Blizzard.
In the blizzard of 93. I mean,
And
It
then
hadn't
what
been
year
for-
was that we had lost power here?
I can't remember
I
that.
mean, it was out for 2 or 3 days.
But
That was recent.
that was from a tropical storm.
Yeah, but still. It's power outage.
I remember back then, though, if it hadn't been for us having natural gas at Mom and Dad's house, it got rough. We had 2 natural gas heaters in the house. Buddy, that did, kept us warm. We didn't have electricity, but we had heat.
We could cook. What I liked about during the blizzard, we had natural gas here in the living room.
See, our new land. You in Texas? Did I see something about hill country, like Austin? I was just wondering about that. Oh, in Austin, Texas. Well, Janelle was asking. Oh, there. Okay, good. So, elementary school.
Yeah, you didn't see when I put that on the
No,
screen
I
earlier?
didn't see that. No.
Cedar Creek Elementary.
Yeah, we get our name Cedar Creek from a creek that's here that my family owned the farm on where it run into the river. And Rebecca grew up in Georgia next to a Cedar Creek. So that also
Right in my
runs.
backyard.
It also runs into the Coosa. So about 80 miles upstream, 90, something like that. Runs into White's Lake. There on Alabama, Georgia, Georgia line, I think so. And of course, the Cedar Creek, I grew up next to, dumps into what we call Lay Lake, which is the lake of one of the impoundments of the Coosa River. But, in fact, the headwaters were right there where I grew up at. It started as a spring. It's not a real long creek. I think it's maybe about 8 miles, 9 miles long, but it gets pretty good size. There's a lot of other springs, creeks running into it. But, we just thought that would be a good name since she grew up on Cedar Creek and I did. And both of them dump into the Coosa River. So, yeah, we thought we would, so let's see. I guess we need to get about ready to start getting off here.
Yeah, probably so.
Let's see.
You can also buy gas leaders at wholesale prices.
Yeah, I have to keep that in mind. Hey. Y'all
And
quit
now the
grabbing
other
each
two
other.
started, so it is definitely time to start
Yeah.
wrapping this up.
We've
Everybody's
enjoyed
getting restless.
I've enjoyed everybody coming on tonight. I'm glad to have some newcomers on. Glad y'all come on. We do this every Friday night, 7 o'clock. We're going to start doing guests once a month. We had Misty and Sherry on last week. Had a very good show. We got Spencer lined up to come on sometime this month. And I'm going to be hitting some of the rest of you up too, if you want to, that is. So if y'all willing, I'm gonna go through the list. So
Yep.
you might be hearing from me to hit you up to uh, come on one Friday night, and we ain't got to talk about just we talk about anything we want to talk about.
If you're on Friday night, that's any topic whatsoever.
But we'll talk about anything we want to talk about. And one reason we was wanting to do that is to have more, I guess, interaction with people and be able to meet people, see them. So a lot of people's way off. All right, now dogs on what's going on, you know. So hey.
Like I said, we fixed that. They
So,
getting all restless. I'm gonna have to put them outside for a minute.
So we'll start doing this. And of course, I'm gonna have hopefully here fairly soon a person from Arkansas on talking about what they experienced there in Arkansas. So we'll make sure we have some notice about when that's going to be. If we do a live, if not, if it's pre-recorded, we'll just play it by ear and see what happens.
No, the state.
And I hope all y'all, Billy, I thought you done left. You still on here. You just been quiet tonight listening. Okay. I figured you would have chimed in and tore up old Spencer for us for a little while. I didn't know you were still there. So, glad everybody came on. Really enjoyed it. Anything you got to add, babe?
Not today.
Well, y'all remember everybody we support. I'm not going to go through it. But everybody knows pretty much who we support. But I will say it because we had a couple of new people come on tonight. Spencer and Misty Woodwood Walkers every Sunday evening at 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central. The Beast Crew on Thursday nights. Spencer and Misty filled in for them last night. I had a very good show with Coonbo and Big Cone. Chris Reinhardt with Discover Sasquatch. Kyle with Encrypted Connections. Of course, all the Facebook groups. Misty and her family with Southern Appalachian Sasquatch Seekers. Miss Bama BF. Flat Rock, Mr. Kenneth Bell, Mr. Dale Broswell with Boogerville.
Now Keith Bell is.
Just Keith Bell. Well, he's God's hands on here.
Okay.
But it's
That's right, it's Facebook. He doesn't have it.
And then, of course, the homesteaders that we like to watch, Deep South there in Mississippi. If y'all hadn't checked him out, Mr. Danny does what he calls front porch time every Tuesday morning. Even if you're not into homesteading or growing gardens and stuff, y'all need to tune in on that porch time on Tuesday mornings. He talks about different things. Mr. Danny is a very devout Christian. He talks about world events. He talks about gardening, the weather. He gets in the
And he kind of knows what he's talking
and he knows
about.
what he's talking about. He knows about the cryptids, so he knows a little bit about that. He's never seen one, but he knows some people that have. So he is one guy that you really. But if you're homesteading, he has a lot of good tips for that.
Yep.
He lives in southern Mississippi, so y'all go check him out. Him and Miss Wanda have a very good channel. And they talk about a lot of different things. She does a lot of canning, cooking. They grow. They
Most of everything they eat.
pretty much. I think they eat about 95% everything they eat grown on their property. They got their own cows, hogs, chickens. I think it's very. I think
Got rabbits, I think.
they even cook sorghum and ribbon cane. Um, I think he's just about self-sufficient. I think he does have to buy a few things.
They do.
I think it would be hard for us to be 100% self-sufficient. I think it could be possible if you just do without some stuff. I think that's the only way you can do it. So. The other one is Perma Pastures. He's up North Carolina, and he does the permaculture. And if you don't know what permaculture is, that is kind of getting back to where you let, how would you say that? Huh?
Nature do its thing.
You got to speak up.
Let nature do its thing.
Okay. So you were talking down when you said it. So,
They're still building a garden center. Because, let me say this. Ours, they have said, is going to be no more. We will still have our garden center, but it will only be used in like April, May, and June, and for Christmas season.
that might be why they're still putting it.
I guess that's because it's already in the plans. They're getting one, but y'all may not get much use out of it already. I don't know what they're going to do with ours. They're still going to put what plants they have in there, but they're not going to get the plants in like we did this year, and I hate that. So,
There's a couple other homesteaders my brain can't think right now.
Homestead.
Holler Homestead, North Carolina. And there's some other ones that's smaller. I need to start naming them, or people can go check them out. All those people do have some good stuff. So, anyway, y'all give us a like, subscribe, hit that comment later, that notification, share, tell people about us. Good to see everybody. Good to see new people and the older people that's been with us for a while. I hope y'all keep enjoying this. And every Friday night, unless something happens at 7 o'clock, and then I usually release a fireside chat, usually on Wednesday. And hopefully one of these days we'll get back to doing more of our homestead videos on Mondays.
Yeah.
So we may do one on the watermelons this week.
Yeah, we might. Kind of took a break on the homestead side of it this year since I was working full time. So.
All right. Well, I hope everybody has a good night. Any of y'all are close by and want to come tomorrow night for the fire pit, you know you're more than welcome. 6 o'clock. Come on. And hopefully some of y'all that live far off will be able to make some of them, because we do them every month.
First weekend.
First Saturday of every month. There's been a couple times we had to postpone them because of stuff. But y'all come join us when you can. All right.
Okay, it's time to go fix some food.
All right, we love all y'all. Just remember, love one another, get along, don't be judgmental, be kind to each other. We need that more than anything. You know where I'm coming from with that. That was one of the commandments, is to love one another. I know it's hard to do. I know it's hard to do, especially in this day and time. The way people act, the way people do, but we got to keep focused on that. It's just like me and Billy said this. He sent me something this morning, and I was watching it. And we got to keep our eyes focused on Christ. As long as our eyes are focused on Him, we don't sink in the ocean or in the water. Because when Peter got out of the boat and kept focused on Christ, he did not sink down. As soon as he looked away, he started sinking. So keep your eyes focused on Christ. I know some of you might not, and I'm not knocking you if you don't. So please don't take that. I'm not judgmental, but keep your eyes focused. Because we're living in some times that are getting very shaky. The foundations are getting shook. So y'all remember that. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all next week. Love you. Bye bye.